one Savar Ciesielski. Savar Ciesielski was a local petty criminal with a penchant for stealing things like alcohol, candles, and checkbooks. He sold drugs and would tell his girlfriend, Erla Bolladottir, about his desire to commit the, quote, perfect crime, end quote. Geirfinnur went missing. Erla and Savar bought one-way tickets to Copenhagen. In Denmark, Erla soon became pregnant. Savar's plan was to smuggle cannabis into Iceland. Perhaps consequently, Erla decided the two should live apart. 1975, Savar was arrested on suspicion of embezzlement. 2 days later, Erla was also taken into custody. Erla initially denied everything, a photo of Gudmundur Einarsson. Erla told investigators that she vaguely remembered the night Gudmundur disappeared. She had been at a nightclub without Savar. She recalled a nightmare in which she could hear Savar's voice whispering outside her window. Erla was questioned for 6 hours on December 20th, naming Savar and their friend Christian Witter as possible suspects in Gudmundur's disappearance. The next day, Savar, who had been in solitary confinement this whole time, was questioned for 10 hours, then 6 hours the day after. Once investigators finally showed him Erla's confession, Savar told investigators he was involved, along with 3 friends, Christian, who Savar had seen that Erla had already named, Tryggvi Runar, and Albert Klan. Eventually, the men all confessed to playing roles in Gudmundur's murder. Went back to Erla and asked if it was possible the men they'd gotten confessions out of for Gudmundur's disappearance could have also been involved in Geirfinnur's as well. Erla replied, quote, maybe, Erla, Savar, and Christian about Geirfinnur's disappearance, and sure enough, received confessions from all of them. Christian mentioned a foreign-looking man who helped them murder Geirfinnur. That foreign-looking man was eventually identified as Gudjon Skarphétinsson, a former teacher of Savar's. Gudjon, Erla, Savar, Christian, Gudjon, Tryggvi, and Albert had confessed to involvement in the murders. That Erla, Savar, and Christian Albert spent a total of 88 days in solitary confinement. Erla spent 241 days. Gudjon spent 412 days. Tryggvi spent 627. Christian spent 682. And Savar spent a whopping 741 days, more than 2 full years, in solitary confinement. Guard Linarthor Magnusson, Savar's head. While in detention, Christian twice attempted suicide. At times, he was made to pose in recreated crime scene photos. In one, Christian strangles a police officer who was standing in for Geirfinnur. Erla, who was not being detained at the time, was brought in for questioning as a witness. She was kept in custody overnight, and the following day, seemingly out of nowhere, gave a statement that she had shot Geirfinnur. 6. Gisli Gudjonsson, a young detective at the time of the disappearances, something in Gudjon, causing Gisli, author of the book The